We're learning new information about a woman's death in Shakopee. We want to warn you, some of the details are disturbing and not appropriate for young people. Police have identified the victim as 55-year-old America Thayer. We're told she was found around 2:30 yesterday afternoon at the intersection of 4th Avenue and Spencer Street. Police tell us they found her body beheaded. A man police say knew the victim was arrested on suspicion of second-degree murder. He's in jail pending charges.
This is Love Hurts. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and the notification bell for future content. 55-year-old America Thayer was described by her coworkers and family as soft-spoken, funny, and bubbly, always smiling and truly one of the kindest people to everyone. She always had amazing stories, and she always went out of her way to say hi to everyone she came in contact with. Friends say America immigrated from Cuba and attended high school in Minnesota. There's not much information available about America. The one thing that we do know is that she was in a 12-year abusive relationship with 42-year-old Alexis Sorberet. Sorberet was extremely controlling and abusive. Domestic abuse had been a constant problem in their relationship. Court records show Sorberet was previously convicted of gross misdemeanor domestic assault from a 2017 incident involving America where she called police from her home. When officers arrived, they found Sorberet holding her to the ground. America told police that night the fight began when they were at a local bar and Sorberet thought she was talking to another man. According to America's son, this was just one of the many incidents involving domestic abuse between the couple. He stated he can't even count the number of times police were called to the couple's home to stop Sorberet from beating the crap out of his mom. Co-workers reported America would often come to work with black eyes, bruises, and broken bones. Oftentimes, she would spend the night at co-workers' homes or just sleep at work to avoid going home. America was in a classic cycle of abuse relationship. Sorberet had complete control over her, and she was never able to break free. When she did break free, she always went back. It's just one of those relationships where you knew in your heart it wasn't going to end well. You just knew somebody was going to get hurt.
Investigating a violent stabbing death in Shakopee.
Fox 8's Paul Bloom joins us live from Shakopee. Paul, this took place in what is normally a quiet residential neighborhood.
And Randy Kelsey, it took place hours ago in broad daylight, and yet it remains taped off. Very much an active crime scene tonight. And you mentioned quiet residential neighborhood of Shakopee. We're just blocks from downtown. In fact, where we stand, we've been listening into the music of the Wednesday night summer concert series Rhythm on the Rails here. People are parking nearby. They're walking home. I see a gentleman with a cooler heading back to his car. I'm speaking to neighbors today. They are absolutely disgusted and alarmed by what unfolded here earlier this afternoon.
Can't even, I have no words for it. It's scary.
Folks living in this residential neighborhood, just blocks from downtown Shakopee, shaken by a horrifying mid-afternoon attack that left a woman dead in the street. Emergency responders and eventually crime scene investigators descending on the scene around 2:30 p.m. The black tenting here marking the spot. A male suspect initially fled on foot, but he was captured soon after, about a mile and a half away. Authorities combing several locations looking for evidence. Sources telling Fox 9 that a knife was used in the deadly assault.
Yeah, it's scary. It's too close to home, I feel like.
For hours, several blocks around the murder scene were taped off, traffic rolling by as neighbors processed a violent attack that authorities said was witnessed by some living here. From Sky Fox 9 above, you can see the home right across the street with a stone peace garden that we're told is a staple at this intersection of 4th Avenue and Spencer Street. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension helping Shakopee police piece together what happened. A drone assisting in the ongoing probe. Sources telling us tonight the male suspect and the female victim were in some type of relationship and knew each other. The man in custody with a long criminal history, known to local authorities. Tonight, Jessica Sancho's heart is broken.
I just feel very sorry for the families.
As for the nature of the relationship between the male suspect and the female victim here, police would not elaborate, nor would they publicly identify the two involved. Obviously, tonight, with all the flashing lights still going, this investigation very much ongoing. We're live just outside of downtown Shakopee tonight. Paul Bloom, Fox 9.
On July 28, 2021, around 2:30 p.m., officers responded to a report of a stabbing near downtown Shakopee, Minnesota. When they arrived at the scene, officers saw a body without a head lying on the ground next to a car. Reports state America and Alexis had been arguing while on their way to a court hearing where Sabaret was being charged with setting fire to the couple's apartment during a confrontation with police. According to Sabaret, America told him she wanted to end their relationship. In response, he struck her with an 8-pound dumbbell, then decapitated her with a machete. A witness a few cars behind the couple said they saw Sabaret behind the wheel making a hitting motion. A second witness recorded video that appeared to show Sabaret pulling America's body from the car and then picking up her head by the hair and throwing it next to her body in the street. The crazy thing is, just weeks before this incident, Sabaret laughed and joked with a friend about how he would cut off America's head. Unfortunately, America's family will never truly get justice for her murder. In a sick twist of fate, Sabaret was found not guilty of murder due to the fact that he has a mental illness.
To understand how somebody can commit cold-blooded murder, plan to do it, tell everyone they're going to do it, have a motive to do it, and then somehow be considered insane.
It's a case that left a community in shock. A woman decapitated and then left for dead in a Shakopee neighborhood. Today, the killer, Alexis Sabaret, deemed not guilty because of mental illness. That ruling not sitting well with the victim's family.
Our Paul Bloom at the Scott County Courthouse tonight. Paul, America Thayer's loved ones believe Sabaret belongs in prison, not a hospital.
Amy, America Thayer's son detailed the long history of physical, mental, emotional abuse his mom suffered at the hands of Alexis Sabaret, of course, culminating in this gruesome, grisly murder that occurred just a couple blocks away from here in downtown Shakopee 2 years ago. The family, of course, wants Sabaret to rot in prison, but two psychiatric experts have found that Sabaret was mentally ill. A judge agreed, meaning Sabaret cannot be held criminally responsible for what happened.
I just don't know what world or society we're living in anymore.
Charles Thayer came to court Tuesday with this large photograph of his mother, America, taken years ago. When it was time for him to give his victim impact statement, he set the picture right in front of the man who killed her, Alexis Sabaret.
He wouldn't look at it. He didn't make any eye contact at all. He's obviously very ashamed of what he did. He killed the only person in the world that cared about this guy.
Charles and his loved ones are in disbelief over a court ruling finding Sabaret not guilty of the brutal murder of America Thayer due to mental illness. It was 2 summers ago when Sabaret decapitated America with a machete, killing her in front of witnesses in broad daylight in a Shakopee neighborhood. The couple had a long, tumultuous history of domestic violence. Charles says no matter what happened, no matter how badly he hurt his mother, she would go back.
This is your typical telltale abusive man, controlling man relationship for many, many years. And I can't even tell you how many times the cops were called for him beating the crap out of her.
2 doctors would find Alexis Sabaret suffered from psychotic disorder and was motivated by paranoid delusions when he murdered America, believing she was, quote, trying to get rid of and kill him, and had been poisoning and implanting items in his body. A conclusion Charles finds appalling, given the years of abuse his mom suffered.
I get it. He's not going to walk out of jail today and he'll probably be in a hospital for maybe forever, a really long time. But hearing the words not guilty to murdering my mother, it's really hard for me to understand.
As you heard Charles say there, Sabaret isn't going anywhere. He'll be held in custody without bail. In fact, civil commitment proceedings begin as soon as tomorrow. The state, of course, here will look for a lengthy commitment in some kind of hospital, locked-up hospital setting. But this ruling from the court does leave open the possibility that someday Alexis Sabaret is able to walk out
of that hospital. Reporting in downtown Shakopee, Paul Bloom, Fox 9.
This case is so sad, and my heart truly goes out to America's family and friends, especially her son. If you are experiencing domestic violence in your relationship, please get out. Use the quickest, safest way possible and do not turn back. Turning back can cost you your life. Stay safe, loves, and don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell.